So today is August 30th. I had my last 2-week appointment yesterday. And by 2-week appointment I just mean I think for the past 2 months I was going like every 2 weeks to the doctor to see my OB. And this one was the last one. The next one is in a week. So I guess me and my husband misunderstood the last time that we were in there 2 weeks ago, because we thought that they said that we were going to get our ultrasound this week, and they were doing, I think it's the Strep C swab this week. That's what we remembered them saying. But apparently the ultrasound wasn't scheduled, so it's not going to be until next week that we get our final ultrasound. So yeah, it's kind of disappointed about that because I was excited to see how much she's grown and everything. But it's only a week away. So yesterday they actually did my Strep C. I think that's what they called it. Basically they just did a swab of the outside of my vagina, and it's just to check, I guess, for like a bacteria, just to make sure that I don't have it, so that it doesn't harm the baby or it's not passed on to the baby when I give birth. So I guess I'll find out next week if it came back positive or negative, and then they'll give me antibiotics. Oh, they also said that my weight was down, and I think it was down around 3 pounds from 2 weeks ago. I tried looking really quick right before I got off the scale to see how much it said, and I think it was about 3 or 4 pound difference. Which I thought it was extremely weird because I stopped working since, and I think since the last time that I went in I've stopped working. So I've been home a lot more, and I've been walking around a lot less. I stopped working last week. So anyways, I feel like the last 2 weeks I've noticed that my eating habits have increased, but not in the way that I get hungry more frequently. It's mostly in the way that I eat bigger portions when I do get hungry. So I thought I was going to be up a couple of pounds, but I guess I went down some, which is kind of weird. I hope they don't think that I'm starving myself, because I'm not. As much as I hate gaining weight, I'm not gonna starve myself while I'm pregnant. So I was pretty surprised about that. Let's see what else. They checked her heart rate. It was at 151, which I was actually surprised because the last time that we went in it was at 136. And that day I was also really surprised because that was not a lot, it was probably like slightly lower than it had been the previous times. But they said that that time she was probably sleeping, so her heart rate was a little bit lower than usual, but it was still within the range that they would want it to be. But this time it was 151, which was kind of a little bit higher than it usually is, and I was surprised about that. I was expecting it to be around 140 because of last time. But she's fine. My blood pressure was okay as well. They also checked my cervix, and I guess it was like the pelvic exam. But they checked if I was dilated, and if I was, they also checked how far along effaced I was. She said that I was right under 2 centimeters dilated, and I was at about 50% effaced. By the way, that pelvic exam, it was mostly uncomfortable. It was almost borderline painful up until I guess she was starting to check where I was 50% effaced. That part was a little bit painful. But yeah, it could still go either way if she comes early or not. But she said it's better for me and my body that that I'm starting to dilate this early. So we will see. And I think that's it from yesterday. The rest of the day, because I've been bored at home, I went in to work yesterday after my doctor's appointment, and when I left my doctor's appointment, we went to go eat something really quick, and then my husband had to go back to work. Let's see. We were walking in, and I got like a really sharp cramp, and I didn't find it unusual. It was, I mean, I just had a pelvic exam, so pretty sure that was normal, because I've heard that you can have like cramps after a pap smear, and a pap smear isn't as invasive as at least, or traumatic or whatever, as a pelvic exam. So I had like a really bad cramp, and then I was fine, and I went into work because it was gonna be like a really short day, so I just went in, and I started getting like some cramps while I was there, and then I just had like a constant like heavy, kind of heavy pressure like on my lower stomach. Like it was just nonstop, and I felt like it got worse after like standing up from sitting down. So I had that the rest of the day, up until the night when I fell asleep. When I fell asleep, I still had like a lot of, not a lot, but it was uncomfortable pressure on my lower stomach. But I woke up this morning and I was fine, so I don't think it's really anything to worry about. Obviously, I would have called my doctor if it still continued today, but I'm feeling a lot better today. So, but yeah, I think that's it on the update. Probably should have said this at the beginning. I'm 34, no, 35 weeks already. I don't know how many days. I think it might be 2 days. 35 weeks and 2 days probably. But yeah, that is where we are in the pregnancy. So I guess I'll get an update next week when I get the ultrasound. The final ultrasound. Okay.